Hey guys, it is SSJ Basilio, and welcome to Anime Talk Episode 2. But before we start off on today's episode, I want to give a special shout out, to Leiden from Twitter, who has created this awesome brand new channel profile picture for the channel. Really love it, and I really appreciate what you've done. I'll leave her link to her Twitter in the description down below so you can make a commission. She's taking commissions. She's open. Anyways, moving on. Today's subject is Gundam, and I have got a very, very awesome special guest for this one. He is a Gundam buff in my eyes. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Puppet Rabbit. Hey, Puppet Rabbit.
Hey man, how's it going? Sorry, I was just gonna lose it in a minute there.
That's all good. That's all good. It's always very It's always very excitable here at SSJ Basilio. How are you going?
Well, thanks for having me on.
No worries. No worries. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So
Absolutely.
going on with the show, I guess we may as well start off with one of the most obvious topics when it comes to Gundam. What is your favorite series? Which series stands out to you?
I guess when it comes to series, it's really kind of hard to say because you've got in such ways as Gundam, which is I think it's 40th. Sorry, somebody can correct me on that. But I guess the ones that would be the ones that I'd say are my favorite are Build Fighters, and the more recent one that just finished airing was Iron-Blooded Orphans, which was an absolute treat to watch every week on Gundam Info, which you can find on YouTube.
Yep. I have to second on that one. I
Brilliant series.
Really loved IBO. You were the one that got me into that. Guilty.
Guilty as usual.
Yes, I really loved IBO. I'm really glad that you got me into that one, and also Build Fighters. I really enjoyed watching the original Build Fighters, even though I still got the last 2 episodes to watch on that. I know.
Yeah. I'm gonna hunt you to the ends of the earth on that one.
And I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a bunch of Gundam fans here that are gonna try and hound me down on that one now too.
Oh yeah, right. Like that's the thing. Like most Gundam fans are just like, you know what? It's like I would say hardcore Gundam fans, more or less. Some that are more what we would call the UC fanboys would be like, oh, we do need to go watch UC Universal Century is the best, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, fair enough then.
But I think that's the beauty of Gundam is that there's so many different series. You've got G Gundam, was it Double A? No. Gundam X.
Yep.
Or Gundam. I have completely forgotten, so I've just blanked on that one. But one of those series. But you're not limited by choice.
There's a whole range,
so many,
huge variety.
Franchise.
There's a huge variety out there.
Yeah, pretty much. You're not. Yeah, absolutely.
And I used to respect Gundam. I still do. But like back years and years ago, like I always loved the idea of it, but I always found the shows to be very political for me until you introduced me. That's right, Puppet Rabbit and I also know each other in real life, where you introduced me to Build Fighters, and I felt that was very mellow and chilled out and all. And then IBO, like it has its political moments, but it balances out right with all the action and everything that goes on with the main story. Like I really enjoyed it, and Olga.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, especially like with Iron-Blooded Orphans, because the difference between like something like say Gundam Build Fighters and like Iron-Blooded Orphans is that you've got a more one's more in tune with what the actual themes of like Gundam are, which is all about the kind of political grey area and the moral grey area, and that's and then you've got Build Fighters, of course, which is all about the Gundam model kits. It's all about the kits. It's all about the toys.
Yes.
And there's nothing else about it. It's unapologetic because that's what makes Bandai money.
Mm-hmm.
And, I absolutely loved it because it's such a love letter to fans of Gundam, and there's so many little references here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And even spawned the fan theory that every Gundam character who dies in their series goes to the Build Fighters universe, which is what has been dubbed Gundam Valhalla.
I remember you telling me about that on a car trip in the town once, and I
Mm.
absolutely adore that idea. That is awesome. Like, do the original creators of Gundam know about this fan theory? Are they aware of it?
I think it was the director. I think it was the voice actor for one of the characters in Build Fighters who brought that over to the director, and they both really, really loved that sort of theory around it.
Yep.
So I'd love I'd love if it was canon, because then characters like well, I'm not going to say it because that'd be spoilers for a ton of series, but
We'll just put person X
but
and Y.
that's kind of something I'd wish for.
Yeah, man. Like, if they made that canon, that would be the best thing ever. Like, I'd just be like, oh, that is so cool.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, it just depends. Depends on what we get next, because we've got you've got we're still getting stuff coming out for this year, like like more Build Fighter stuff. Like recently they just put out the first episode, like the really short 11-minute episode for Battle Log, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Which was really, really awesome. It's such a just this kind of awesome. It was just unapologetic in that it was just, okay, here are two characters. Here's Shah Aznable, here's Ribbons Olmark, and that's like dumb name, but anything else. But let's slam these two characters in together and see how they do. And they, it was awesome. I thought it was really cool. For 11 minutes, it's good to get more of that Build Fighters action, because it's really awesome. Like, it's just like, let's just shove things together and see what they do, see how much destruction they can cause against each other.
Yeah, and it's just very well loved among the fandom.
Oh, yeah, I would say that because the thing was, Build Fighters leading up to its release was like, everybody was like nobody was like, I don't know if, I'm speculating, but people were like, oh, this is going to be the worst series ever, it's going to do terribly, but, it's like, oh, this is going to be bad, everything. But then it came out the first season, and it just blew people away, just how good it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was just amazing. It was one of the first, just that sort of like, if you could take this type of show, get rid of a lot of the Gundam references, but you'd still have to, I guess.
Yeah.
You could probably air this on any television, like any Saturday, like morning cartoon show in the West, and it'd just be like, this would be cool. Kids would be straight into that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it'd work. It'd work really well.
Yeah, that's just what I think it is. Awesome.
It'd be really awesome to see actually happen out in the West. Like, I'd be down for that.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Bandai have like put some efforts into actually bringing stuff over to the West. Like, was it Gundam Versus? The new version of Gundam Versus for the PS4 is coming to America on the 29th of September. I don't know when it's coming out in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I think because there has been no release date announced yet, but hoping it is the same, like the 29th of September as well.
Well, I gotta say,
I don't want to wait until like next year.
I gotta say though, that game really does look like a lot of fun. Like, it looks so much fun from what I've seen.
Oh yeah, it looks so good.
And like, you can do 2-on-2 battles, yeah. So that means you and a friend could probably battle against two other random people from around the world, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's true. That's how usually the main series has worked for Gundam Versus. It's always been 2-on-2.
We'll have to.
But they're adding in extra game modes, and it's so cool.
That's awesome. Well, whenever I get my hands on that game, when it's released and all, we'll have to tag team together. I'll jump in the Barbatos or maybe the Build Strike, and then we'll go and cause some havoc.
That's gonna be sick as anything else. 'Cause I love Gundam, and it's good to have another body on the journey.
Yup. And as some of you might have picked up, like, I only mostly know Build Fighters and Iron-Blooded Orphans, but I still love to have myself within the Gundam community and learn what I can learn about the Gundam community.
And they're not shy of like allowing you to learn this stuff. It's like, I think the biggest thing for newcomers is, where do you start?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, people will either say go all the way from the very first, like the original Mobile Suit Gundam, and then try and kind of work your way up through that. I generally think that's going to be a bit difficult for newcomers, because the original Mobile Suit Gundam was like 1979 when it came out, and it's really old animation. So for somebody like me, because I watched the first episode of the original Mobile Suit, I can actually look at it and go, I can watch that and I can be perfectly fine with it, and have a giggle at just how old the art and animation is, because
Yeah.
I think there are screen caps of like just how wonky the Gundam out of proportion can be, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But that was the time, But if recommendations from myself, it's Iron Blooded Orphans is probably the easiest one to start and go from like the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's not related to like the Universal Century or any of the other series, because it's its own universe.
Yep.
That is the perfect kind of jumping point, I would say, coming into Gundam.
I agree.
And then you kind of go through all this stuff, and you go through all the rest of the series.
There
are a few stinkers here and there, but
yeah, that's all right. Everything has its faults, but I'd have to 100% agree with all that. But anywho, now that we've talked about our favorite series, and by all means, that was a really good portion of the discussion right there. I think the next subject we'd all really like to move on to would be, what is your favorite mobile suit?
Oh God, that's a bit of a that's a serious loaded question for anybody who's been into Gundam for like a good fair amount of years or whatever.
Yep.
It's kind of really hard to pinpoint what would be your favorite design. I guess the ones that really speak out to me would be like the original, the granddaddy, the RX-78-2. He is like he's like the first one. He looks amazing. He's just really, and like they translate him very well into more modern style, and I think he holds up really well.
Yeah.
But I'm more into the more unorthodox designs, like the really kind of oddball designs, like the Turn A and the like the G Self and the Barbatos. I really love the really oddball design stuff that you don't really kind of get out of Gundam sometimes. Like they're really kind of like just, they come out of left field, and they make you go, well, that's very interesting.
Yeah, fair enough. I hear you on that.
Oh yeah, it's like, yeah. But I guess if I had to pick an overall my number one favorite, gosh, that's a bit it's a bit hard to say, because they've got like just so many different kind of Gundam designs. I guess I'm gonna just have to just kind of say for the time being, because it'll usually like what I think is my favorite will always change.
Yeah.
I just guess I'm going to say the Trion 3 from Gundam Build Fighters Tri, and I think that's like so super robot, but it's like my love of the double Zeta. It's just like, oh, it's amazing. it's so off the wall. It's like, oh,
that's awesome. For me,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh no, by all means, it's nuts. No, it's all good. For me, I reckon my favorite one would be one that I've built, which is the Build Strike with the Plavsky wings. Like, I reckon that one looks correct me if I pronounced it wrong, but I reckon that one looks beautiful, like with the wings and all too.
That's a good choice. Like that is, it's a good design because the Star Build Strike and the Plavsky wings. It's such a good design because it bases itself off of the Strike Gundam, and that's a really good design of itself. Like, it's a really good sort of like kind of updated design of the old RX-78 Gundam, RX-78-2 Gundam.
It's almost like a modern day design, yeah?
Yeah, very close to it, yeah. I think it's a good, like, that's a choice. That's like, people will nod their head and go, yeah, that's a good choice. It's a good design.
Yep.
Because it does things that, it adds, the Build Strike itself adds a lot more flair to, takes such a very basic looking Gundam and then just adds extras onto it and makes it look great.
Yes. Yep.
And I think that's just kind of, that's a good design as well. Like, that's sort of like the essence of Build Fighters was taking a kit, something like the Strike, and then adding extra stuff on it to make it look a lot different is what I liked what I think we both liked so much about Build Fighters.
Yeah. It just pretty much...
Stuff like the Bear Guy 3 was amazing.
It's almost like taking a kit and making it your own, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That's what I liked about Build Fighters so much, and that's in the design terms as well, because as much as I didn't like Gundam Build Fighters Tri, and I have a lot of problems with that show, I still loved a lot of the designs that came out of that show.
So it's like the designs that really saved the show for you in a sense.
I wouldn't say they saved the show, because the show, I'm still very angry at it.
Yeah.
I'll always be angry at that show. But from my perspective, I separate the designs for a lot of the custom kits, like the Tryon 3 and the Denial.
Mm.
I completely separate those from the show, because those they're so cool. They're great designs. They're so cool looking.
Mm.
And that's one of the things. Like, Gundam design is, it's mecha design in general. How cool can you make this? How cool can you make a robot look? And that's what I think sometimes what I love about Gundam. It's just like
bloody cool according to Bandai. It's just they always seem to pull out some pretty awesome designs out there.
Yeah, it's. I'm surprised that though they do have some certain designs, like the Wonder Ward.
Mm.
I would love to get a modern kit. I would love that thing. It's such, again, another one of the off the wall designs, but it's such a cool kit.
And does it come in?
Kit.
Does it come in different grades, like perfect grade, master grade, and?
I don't think outside of third party Gundam, third party model kit designers or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Bandai has, I don't think, officially released a Wonder Wart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I played against, like, they released, like, they're slowly starting to open up a bit more about, like, with Bandai, they don't do everything. There's a lot of stuff that they don't do.
Mm.
Like, a lot of it will be put into, like, what is it? Premium Bandai? Yes.
Yeah.
Premium Bandai. So they do a lot of that sort of like, oh hey, it's Premium Bandai time. So if we got to design like the Pale Rider, it goes to Premium Bandai. They won't release it en masse.
Yep.
Unless they know it will sell, which is just,
Mm.
That's for the other topic we can get into.
Yep. Fair enough. Well,
Good. Well, I was trying to segue it.
No, I got you there. But if there was any first-time Gunpla builders listening here right now, what would be your recommendation to them for a model, like to build for the first time for a model kit, like for any model kit?
That's really kind of hard to say what would be the best kind of kicking off point.
Yep.
Or starting with Gunpla, like. Depends on what kind of where somebody would be at in terms of like model kit building experiences, or just in general where to go. Usually, you'd recommend for a younger kid or something like that. You would recommend something like an SD, one of the super deformed ones, because they're a lot easier to build. They've got the parts are easy to remove from the frame, the tree, the sprue, whatever they call it.
Yep.
So many names for this one bit of plastic. The sheet of plastic that all your pieces come on, and it's just so many different names. I don't get it.
I just call it a frame.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to. Yeah, it's like a frame.
Let's call it a piece frame. Piece frame.
But I'd recommend SDs for young kids, and if you've got a bit of modeling experiences, and if you want something like variety-wise, you go high grade.
High grade?
And like that high grade's great starting off point, because I don't usually it's hard to recommend like something like a master grade or a perfect grade or a real grade off the first time builders, unless you've got the confidence to build those things.
Yep.
Then everything is right. You can go right ahead.
Yep. You can just jump straight into the deep end, boy or girl.
Yes. Yeah. But I wouldn't recommend getting into perfect grade, because they're really expensive. Like, God, 300 up like 200 or some ridiculous number. They're all really expensive, like in the hundreds.
And while we're still in the subtopic of Gunpla and model kits and all, what are your thoughts on the I'm pretty sure they're related to Gundams. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Gundam girls.
Oh, mobile, MS girls or oh, okay. Oh well, we've got stuff like the Super Fumina was the first one. Like, if we're talking about MS girls, if we're talking about Gunpla and mobile, like the Mecha Girls or whatever. Yeah, Mecha
Yeah.
Girls. I guess the first one that was like official, like proper Bandai model kit version was Super Fumina, and she is creepy as all hell. I don't like that design. Like she's creepy. And then they made like another version of her, like the Axis version or whatever it is, with like the pink, and
Yeah.
she comes with a completely separate piece to act like for her breasts.
Whew. For real.
It's for real. I'm not kidding. Like that's a thing that they actually did.
So the boobies were separate.
It's even. Well, yeah. Well, not in the old Super Fumina, but this new version of Super Fumina.
Yep.
It's just really creepy. It's like, and it looks even worse.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. It looks even worse. And then we eventually got China Guy,
Yeah.
who's a character from Build Fighters. Again, these are all characters from like Gundam Build Fighters and Try.
Yeah.
And she looks a lot better. I haven't got my hands on her. I haven't got my hands on the kit yet, so I can't really kind of say what I like about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are reviews out there of it, but the one I really don't recommend going to watch is like, and it's really bad for me to say this because this guy does actually have some great reviews.
Yeah.
Mecha Guy Kotsu's review of China Guy, because it. Like, I'm not going to throw shade. Like, this guy does great content. It's just this one video I have a problem with. It just felt lazy. You know, we can cut this out, like this thing, but it was not a very good video. It didn't really kind of give enough information, I would say.
We'll keep it in there. Each to their own. Each to their own. There's nothing wrong with a little critique.
And like, yeah, a little critique. I think it was like, I think it was just, it felt too lazy. And I think people were like, from what I understand is that he doesn't like Mecha Girls or any of the concept of them, or at least, you know, the MS Girls or whatever. And I think going into that review, he was very biased against them. But coming off of Super Fumina and that, it's kind of not hard to see why he would kind of come off not really having a high expectation of China Guy. But that's just kind of the reality of it. And that, getting off there, I've kind of deviated off the subject of like the Mecha Girls, but when it comes to kids, we are getting more like Yonko and that.
Yeah, but on the subject of Mecha Girls, I kind of like the idea. It kind of sounds really cute. It's like we've got our Gunpla, then we've got our SD guys, and then we got the Mecha Girls, and then there was another one. Oh yeah, and we got the Bear guys as well. So it all kind of like fits in with the line.
It does, and that's the thing. Like, there's so many of these. Like Bandai know, like if they see something that sells, they're gonna capitalize on it as hard as they possibly can.
Oh, particularly Sunrise Studios.
Kind of like, oh yeah, Sunrise, man. Like,
you gotta love them.
That's the thing. Well, they created Gundam, and they're owned by Bandai, so you know.
Well, actually,
and they own and they're partially owning Love Live as well. So
I actually remember a theory that you once came up with in relations to Gundam and Love Live. Would you like to share that amazing theory with the listeners?
I guess I can. I guess my theory kind of goes. It's not like, I don't think nobody should really take me seriously on this, but
it's a fun theory, guys. It's a fun theory. Just
it's hilarious. Like, it's fun, and it kind of got a little funny at one point. But the theory kind of goes that because Love Live is partially like, it's spread out between like all these different companies, and you know, particularly like Love Live, you know, is animated by Sunrise Studios, and Sunrise Studios is owned by Bandai. I had the weird theory that they would eventually do a crossover with each other.
Yeah.
And that it got kind of scary how close that was starting to happen when Iron Blooded Orphans was kind of running about. It's kind of like, it's run because, was it Hanyo?
Yeah. Yep. Hanyo,
yeah, her voice actor played a character in Iron Blooded Orphans, which was the series that just finished airing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, well, crap, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because it got to that point where it was like, oh shit, it's gonna happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or maybe it won't. Or, oh god, it looks like it might.
Or one day they
Like,
have an episode with Sotomaru on there, and like she just randomly does a Gundam related version of a Nico Nico Ni. Man, I would lose my shit over that.
Gundam.
That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. Gunda.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's all fun in games. It's like when it comes to like that sort of like Gundam stuff or anything in general, there's a lot to have. There's a lot to have a lot of fun with, and that I wouldn't be opposed to having a Gundam Love Live crossover because I think that'd be hilarious. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Or imagine.
I mean, and you know, Gundam's a super serious show. So having a bit of fun, like Build Fighters, was like such a nice break from all this, like
from all the seriousness and the politics.
Everything is depressing.
Yeah? Well, could you imagine if they ever? Could you ever imagine if they make like it's going to come up to one of the lines that we like?
You're gonna lose it, aren't you, man?
Yeah, man. It's going to come up to one of the lines that we laughed at the other day because we just thought how cute and funny it was to say. But like, how funny would it be if they actually did a series about the Mecha Girls and they were like,
oh, that's right.
And they're all chilling out and all that stuff, and then like they say something and then they just end it like by jumping into their mobile suits, like these Gundam girls, and then they just like, it's time for us to become Scooby-Doo. And then you just got these like,
that'd be amazing.
And then you got these mobile suits performing on stage. I would. Yeah.
Oh no, the crowd! The stage is broken. What'll we do? We have to fight Zeon.
No, but then the audience, but the audience has to be in mobile suits as well. So then they're all using.
That would be so weird. Like that would be insane. Like that would be so weird to watch. I would love every minute of it, but it would be so dumb at the same time. I kind of want that to happen.
Oh my god! And then like. With Japan, with like how they've got like Aquas and Muse, how they all did like actual live tours and everything. It's like they somehow managed to pull this one off, and they actually have actual mobile suits actually doing like actual concerts and all that.
That would be a thing though, because I've heard. I don't know if this. that would be like. Well, shit. We've got everybody back up 20 feet. They're gonna do their spin.
Yeah. Everyone
watches a piece of the arm flies off into the crowd. Oh god!
Everyone get your
I'm going morbid.
Everyone get your beam saber light pens ready. Oh my gosh.
Oh god! But that's the thing. Like that would be like a kind of cool crossover. Like that could be like that's the theory. Like, but then it'd end up just being Macross at the end of the day, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it'd be a step. Oh, I don't know. I've never really seen too much of Macross. I've heard things and seen bits and pieces and snippets and clippets, but I don't know. Maybe it could be a step up from that, perhaps.
I don't know, because Macross has been doing the whole like idol thing with the mecha thing for like years, and in Japan, those two fight it out a lot. Like, well, not necessarily fight it out a lot. Because Gundam's getting a lot more content than I do think that Macross did, because Gundam does have such a lineage and history of being kind of like the progenitor for the real robot genre. It was the big guy. It was the guy that changed the mecha genre as a whole.
It paved the way.
That's something, it pretty much did for other shows like Macross and that.
Yep.
When at the time, back in like, 70s and that, was they had like super robot shows like Mazinga and Getter Robo and stuff like that, and Still Jig or Tetsu. Seriously, don't anybody can correct me on my Japanese, but Jig. I'm just gonna say it. Stuff like that.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it, is that it's so different from like anything else that came out at the time, and it feels like its own thing.
Yeah.
And I think people do need to give it a chance.
Yeah.
Just like as a show, you don't be scared to go into it.
Just dip your toes in.
Because it is such a large thing. Yeah, exactly. That's John. Go right ahead in. The community is going to welcome you as best as they can.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I say that. Put that as lightly as possible, but.
There's
You know,
always
every group has their own little individuals that aren't the best of the best.
and there's always a bunch
You
of
know?
young, hopeful, welcoming people in every fandom,
Yeah,
whether that fandom is good
exactly,
or
and
bad. Yeah.
that's one of the things.
And we discussed that the other day when we were talking about fandoms. Every fandom has its good people, and then every fandom has its dark side. It's yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that is it at the end of the day. And you know, when talking about Gundam, you know, it's all about where do you start, what do you do, what can you do. Oh, they've got toys, model kits, all this sort of stuff,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
and it feels like we had like set topics. I'm going to be honest with the viewers here. We did have set topics.
Exactly.
And it's deviated so far. But this has been, that's kind of the beauty of it. It's like Gundam is such a broad topic. It's not
and we've
just this one thing.
we've spread out
all these things. Yeah, exactly. And that's the amazing thing about it as a franchise is that it's not. There's so much to it, and there's so much more than what you see on the surface level. You've got things like you got the shows and you got the model kit, but what happens when you get a little further? You've got manga, you've got video games, you've got light novels, you've got everything, and I mean they're doing and Sunrise and Bandai are just going to keep producing more content, so they're not going to run out at the end of the day.
Exactly, and also you also get good memories too. Funny ones, awesome ones, and then there's also the funny ones when you're watching it with Pokemon Master B. If you remember what I'm talking about, wasn't he drinking that milk?
Story. Let's go into a bit of a story time.
All right, let's go for a story time, everyone, before we close out. Oh, you still there, buddy? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm still here, man.
Alrighty.
I'm still here.
Story time, everyone.
I dropped out, did I?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yep. Story time.
With Puppet Robot, featuring SSJ Basilio.
Okay, so, of course, SSJ Basilio and Pokemon Master B come over one day. I'm sitting there watching, Awaits MS Team. Very, very good show. I highly recommend it. It's Universal Century, but really good. So we're sitting there, all of a sudden, there's a certain scene that I think any Gundam fan would probably know. I think it was with the character Kiki and Shiro. So Shiro is gotten lost. It's like the second episode. He's gotten lost after combat, and he ends up at this pond. And he's, just kind of sitting there getting water and stuff, and then Kiki's swimming around. And she's topless. Like, not beating around the bush. She's completely topless. And you can see it's all on show. Like, they animated it and everything. So, as soon as Pokemon Master B saw that, he looked over and went, he coughed. He's just like, he didn't expect it. He's drinking, like, milk or something. He just sees it and goes,
He's a very well animated individual. Holy crap.
Yeah. I'm just putting it as lightly as possible.
Yep. But I gotta say, Pokemon Master B had a bit of a Master Roshi moment with that scene, and it has never left our memories since.
It was so funny.
It was. Anyway, our precious listeners / viewers, that's all we have time for Anime Talk today. But until next time, we really appreciate the support that all of you have given us, especially if you're still listening up until this point. Puppet Rabbit, have you got anything that you'd like to say to the viewers / listeners before signing out?
When it comes to Gundam, guys, don't be scared to jump in. There is always something there for you. It's, if you're not into the whole war is grey or whatever, just go watch Build Fighters. You can find that all on YouTube and stuff like that. It's all official. It's all free. And I'm not kidding, unless you're in America, because then it's geo-blocked in your region. So I don't know where you go to watch that, but you're not spoiled. You're spoiled for choice in this matter.
Well,
Other than that, yeah, just go jump right in. There's so much there. We've got a new Gundam game, officially released Gundam game coming out on the 29th of September in America. It's something. It means something.
well, there we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna start rambling on in a minute.
Well, those were the very wise and awesome words of our friend Puppet Rabbit. Anyway, guys, this has been...
Just Puppet for short.
Yup.
Sorry, I'm interrupting now.
That's all good. That's all good. That's all good. We love you here. Anyways, this has been SSJ Basilio and
Puppet Rabbit
signing off. Bye, everyone.
Bye.